Isn't she lovely? Don't know the words. When you think of the best combination of off-road performance and unyielding durability, one name stands out: the Toyota Land Cruiser. Today we're taking a close look at a special gem from 1996, the Toyota Land Cruiser J78 Prado, and I'm going to tell you why it's the best Land Cruiser, possibly best truck you can get today. This statement may shock many of my fellow cruiser bros, and rightfully so, as the Prado is, if anything, unpopular, and some even say unworthy of the Land Cruiser title. But please stop screaming at the screen for 1 second. Let me make my case here. Our story begins in the aftermath of World War II with Toyota's development of the BJ prototype, a vehicle that paved the way for what would become the Land Cruiser. Seen initially as Toyota's answer to the American Willys Jeep, the BJ made headlines when it was driven up to the 6th stage of Mount Fuji, becoming the first vehicle to accomplish such a feat, a testament to its ruggedness. It was a symbolic statement. The Land Cruiser conquered Fuji-san. But how did the Land Cruiser get its name? BJ stood for engine type B, and J stood for Jeep. However, when Toyota wanted to export the truck, Willys gently reminded Toyota that Jeep was a trademark, and thus in 1954, the Land Cruiser nameplate was born. The Land Cruiser is the oldest still manufactured nameplate from Japan now, and the 4th longest running model in the world, behind the Chevy Suburban, Ford F-Series, and the Volkswagen van. Toyota still has Jeep in the name though. Every single Land Cruiser is still identified with J in advance of the model number as an homage to the BJ. Today, for example, we're talking about the J78. Over the decades, the Land Cruiser evolved from the classic original Jeep-like 40 Series, the quirky 50 Series, the beloved 60 Series, and in 1984, the 70 Series. With the 70 Series, the Land Cruiser split into the heavy-duty and the light Land Cruiser series, eventually called the Land Cruiser II, the Toyota Bundera, and finally, Land Cruiser Prado. As the light Land Cruiser, the Prado was a more comfort-oriented version of the 70 Series, using nearly the same body as the heavy-duty 70. The grille and headlight setup are different. The Prado used coil spring suspension rather than the heavy-duty series leaf springs, and the Prado used more fuel-efficient 4-cylinder engines, while the heavy-duty models were using more powerful 6-cylinder engines. When compared to its 70 Series brethren, the Prado stands out. The traditional heavy-duty models known for stark utilitarianism were contrasted by the Prado's passenger-friendly features, such as a smoother ride, better fuel economy, and ergonomic interior, yet despite these comforts, the Prado did not compromise on reliability or off-road capability. There are numerous videos on YouTube of fools doing things in this exact truck that would make your Wrangler pull a hammy. Fjording deep rivers, hip-tackling mud holes that are nearly as bad as the streets here in New Orleans, this Land Cruiser Prado can still do it all. There are more capable TLCs out there to be sure, but the point is that 95% of us won't need something that the 78 can't deliver in terms of all-terrain access, and that's why I think this is the perfect truck. This is my Land Cruiser, the KZJ78W. The KZJs were only made from 1993 to 1996. KZ meant that it used the 1KZTE 3-liter electronic fuel-injected 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine, producing a whopping 128 horsepower and 212 foot-pounds of torque. J, of course, stands for Jeep, as I told you. 7 means it's a 70 Series, 8 means it's a long wheelbase, and W means it's a wagon. My Prado makes 60 to 80 less horses than the heavy-duty 6-cylinder 70s being made at the time. The heavy-duty 70s are much preferred by cruiser enthusiasts and typically fetch more on the market than the lowly Prado. But why, then, is it the best? Well, let me give you a tour of mine first with Aaron Ross of Bulldog Auto, Japanese car exporter and expert, and then I'll tell you why I love this Prado. We're picking up my Japanese buyer agent, well, he's American, but you get it. Anyways, we're picking up Aaron at the airport here. I didn't tell him what car I was going to be driving. I hope he can figure out that I'm one of the guys driving a right-hand drive classic Land Cruiser. Look for a guy with a haircut like an absolute pervert. There he is. What's up, handsome?
Oh, you're on this side.
Yeah, believe it or not. That's how these cars work, you know. When you get cars from Japan, they usually have the steering wheel over here.
Shit.
Yeah, did you know that? I said he was my buyer's agent. I didn't say he was a good one.
Yeah, like you said, my name's Aaron Ross. I've lived in Japan since 2006. And essentially, I own a business called Bulldog Auto Japan, and I export cars like this Land Cruiser or K vehicles, campers, AMGs, all sorts of European cars all over the world.
If you wanted to get one of these for somebody watching out there, it's no problem for you.
In time, we could probably find the right unit, no problem.
Yeah. If they're looking for a Land Cruiser, what are they calling you for?
The 70 series in general have been kind of cost prohibitive because there's less of them, and they're ones that are of good condition are kind of expensive. So the Prados are probably one of the most sought after Land Cruisers in general right now.
All right, what do you think of the 70 series, the Prado in particular? I know you were bullying me about it because, again, you've got the guys that are the hardcore 70 series guys, like the serious off-road vehicles, and they called this the light duty.
A little bit of a joke, you know, that's kind of in the thing. Even in some markets, there's a joke about them being, you know, subpar, substandard.
Like your wife's Land Cruiser. Yeah.
To be honest, you know, the Prado has much better road manners. It rides better. It's good for in-town stuff. Certainly capable off-road for you know, the usage of most folks. Better on your back. Better on your wallet. They're cheaper as well.
Yeah, so. they're way cheaper. That's the other thing is, you know, I think I told you I paid just a tick under, I think, 17 grand for this. I absolutely love this truck, and what I have said multiple times this weekend, it makes me so happy. This truck makes me so, it looks cool, it rides really well, the AC works.
Like you said, I mean, it ticks all the boxes, especially for your usage. They really are an amazing machine. And to be honest, a lot of people think that, you know, this generation was really the heyday of Toyota in general, like the peak.
Driving this thing around this weekend, has it changed your opinion at all?
No, I mean, I was just kind of messing with you. They're really, really awesome machines. Road manners are as good as you're going to get for this type of vehicle, and it really is the one to have. So this is James's Land Cruiser Prado. As he mentioned before, it's got only 100,000 kilometers on it now. It's very, very, very well maintained and clean. Pretty much stock standard on the outside. He's added a couple of minor cosmetic updates to the grille and whatnot. Standard wheels and tires. This one is in the jade green metallic. In the interior, it's an aftermarket Nardi steering wheel, which is very popular, kind of a common thing that you see on cars from the 90s. It was kind of a vibe, as the kids say back then.
Must have been one swagged out old man, Japanese man in my mind, who owned this car because he put a Nardi wood grain steering wheel. I didn't do this. I wish I was classy enough to think to do this, but no. The previous owner did it, the sole owner of this car prior to me, and I think it looks great. I think it's still a vibe.
Super, super clean interior. I like these 90s Toyotas where they have all these synthwave looking interior patterns and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this one is obviously a very clean example. You have these very 90s classically styled retro door panels here. All your window controls here, even the fancy auto that everybody hates that automatically makes the thing go down, and you're playing with that. Door locks, window locks, so the kids can't open the windows and whatnot in the back. All your standard four-wheel drive stuff is up here too. Your hub locks, your high 4 button. Down here, you know, standard hood release, gas door release. Moving on over to here to the center, you have your power mirror controls. You have your intermittent wiper for the rear, your high idle button for cold climates and things like that. Pretty standard transfer case lever here. Pretty normal on most cars. It's the parking lockout, so you can take it out of park if you don't have the key. Infotainment system here from Car Rosaria. Cigarette lighter for you people that want to do your ciggies. Look at even the ashtray is pretty clean on the inside. I don't think this person was a smoker. Looked like maybe kept change or something like that in it, so that's pretty cool. Clock and stuff is going to be in this area. It's not on right now. Moving down here, these parking brake boots are always torn. This one's in really, really nice shape and clean. They split on the seam sometimes. This one's quite nice. ECT button for the transmission, so if you want to have it hold the gears a little bit longer in the power mode, the towing, things like that. And then the sports in normal button for the shocks. I think this one has aftermarket shocks and stuff on it now, so that's probably not applicable for that anymore. But your tilt for the steering column there. One funny thing about Japanese vehicles is the turn signals are on the opposite side, so what ends up happening inevitably when you start driving right-hand drive cars is you go to put the turn signal on and it's going to put the wipers on. So you get something that's a little bit of a learning curve that you have to get used to on right-hand drive vehicles as well. Little buddy here is your electronic toll collection system. They have a special card that looks like a credit card that goes in there. sort of like a fast pass or a sun pass in Florida or any of those ones in other states. It just work with the electronic toll machines for getting on the toll roads and whatnot. So you have these ambulance style doors. Oh, you want to get rid of this?
Oh,
so this one has like these ambulance style doors that kind of fold out to the side. Third row for the little ones. That secret side piece you keep stashed in the back, whatever you need. Seats, of course, fold down. They just got a lever, they fold down, and these fold up to the side. So it goes up here, and hopefully I get this on the first try. Bam.
boom.
Dead bodies, a little bit of mulch for the yard. Bam. They don't fold flat in the back like some of the other ones, but still give you ample space in the back. Metal and chrome, and it's just, and this is heyday Toyota.
Do you know what that is?
I think they're vents for the,
Go ahead, stand over there. Hold a little piece of paper. Yeah, just like that. See that?
so essentially what this is a vent that blows off some of the pressure when you close the doors, so it probably creates that nice in the womb feeling when you're inside of it or something, I think.
And what's that like?
Well,
it goes beyond the scope of this video.
Been in a couple wombs, but
I've been in a couple today.
So this is the 1KZ turbo diesel engine. As you can see, super clean. It hasn't even been detailed completely fully at this point, but cars like a kitten. This one already had the timing belt changed at 87,000 kilometers, so a little early. So it's good to go for a long time. Just a super reliable, durable workhorse of an engine that's, you know, going to serve James for many, many miles.
I hope so. That has been in that side pocket for like since I got it. What is that?
So in Japan, when you get your license plates put on, you do them like at the DMV itself, and so you can't take them off. They seal it with this special lock that goes on top of the bolt. And this is, somebody took that off when they removed the license plates and they threw it back in the car, but that's one of the locks that they put on one of your license plate bolts. It's only on one.
I fell in love with the 70 series after spending almost 2 weeks in one on safari in Africa with my wife, Lindsay, and that's about the same time I fell out of love with the FJ62 that I had at the time. There's no question that the 60 series is one of the most rugged and best-looking Land Cruisers, nay, vehicles ever made. But after I had my air conditioning rebuilt for the second time to the tune of $1,200 a pop, and I still couldn't get the cab below 80 degrees in the summer, plus it was kind of loud, plus the ride wasn't all that great, plus the interior was pretty rough, plus the electronics kind of sucked, plus it was a little stinky, like oil and exhaust all the time, even though mine had just over 100,000 miles, which isn't much for a Land Cruiser. I realized that the 60 series was truly limited if you were going to use it as a daily driver in the South. So I hook up with a buyer's agent and I start watching the auctions. The Japanese auctions grade the exterior condition from 1 to 5 and the interior gets a letter grade. I was looking for a 70 series that was a 4 exterior B interior because that would mean that the car was in great shape with only a few minor dings, but it would still be suitable as a daily driver. It wouldn't be a collector car, but it also wouldn't have a huge price tag either. With the auctions, you have to be patient. You have to wait until something shows up that's exactly what you're looking for and in your budget. Finally, one night my agent reaches out to me and says, James, there's a 4B coming up in a few hours, but it's a Prado. He was saying it like it was a bad thing, and I think this actually sounds like exactly what I'm looking for, and I'm going to save thousands of dollars versus a heavy-duty 70 series. I love this jade and oyster color combo exterior. I love the plush 90s bedazzled interior, and I love the fact that it still looks like a 70 series on the outside. I really haven't done much to it. You're definitely going to want to get a new battery in it because for whatever reason the overseas voyage kills your battery. You're going to want to change your fluids. You're going to want to check for leaks. Also, it's a good idea on these older turbo diesel engines to get an emission system delete kit because that can cause serious mechanical problems down the road. Other than maintenance, the original plastic fake chrome grille was starting to chip off, so I replaced it with one of the newer satin and chrome grills that looks really neat. But I'm still trying to find the headlight washer nozzles for it, which is an impossible task. There is a bounty. I will pay you if you can find them for me. I replaced the rear speakers because they were blown. My biggest expenditure, however, was the addition of the Dobinson Stock Height Restoration Kit springs and shocks, which make the ride even smoother and which lifted the car just about an inch, inch and a half to its original height. Looks great. I might powder coat the wheels soon, and then I think I'm done. I couldn't be happier with this car, and what I mean is that this car makes me happy. This is my 70 Series Land Cruiser, and I know I've said this probably a whole lot in this video, but I love this car. Is it a little underpowered? Yes. Is it not as drivable as, say, like a 2024 Explorer? Yes, but it's not meant to be a 2024 Explorer. Like, that's what's cool about this car and what I like about it, and I hope that I've communicated to you in this video what I really love about the Land Cruiser Prado, the KZJ78W specifically, is the fact that it's a cool looking car with a lot of modern conveniences. Certainly you have compromises in terms of drivability and creature comforts and so on, but we're going over the 3-mile bridge here from Gulf Reeves to Pensacola. The road noise is minimal, the seats comfy, and the style, impeccable. It drives well enough, it's reliable, it looks great. One of my most favorite cars ever. I love driving it, it's fun. My wife, my mom, my nieces and nephews, my brother, my buddies, they all love riding in it, especially with the third row seating in the back. The turbo diesel engine isn't all that powerful, but I get good gas mileage, and I can still easily tow my boat with it. This Nardi steering wheel says listen up 5s, a 10 is speaking. The car looks great. Even my wife wants one now. I think this is the best Land Cruiser ever made. Sure, it's the best for me. It might not be the best for you. If you're looking for a second or third car and you live in the Midwest or California, a 40 or 60 series might be great for you. If you want to take it on long trips, if you're going to use it as a primary vehicle, or if you're going to take it for serious off-roading, maybe you need an 80, 90, or 100 series. But if I had to summarize in one sentence as to why specifically the KZJ78W is the best Land Cruiser ever made, it's because it blends classic styling with modern performance, but it's still reasonably priced. If you want me to sum it up in 5 words, this car is f***ing cool. It's practical, it's got good enough off-road capabilities for the habitat it lives in, it does everything I want it to do, it looks great, and I still had plenty of cash left over for a few mods. Guys, thank you so much for sticking with me and listening to me rant and rave about how much I love this car. If you've got a car or a Land Cruiser that you want me to take a look at and do a video on, hey, maybe I'll consider it. Shoot me an email at james@tfb.tv, or you can email me on my personal email, jjreevesii@gmail.com. Who knows, if this does well enough, I might make this a regular series because I love cars, I love Land Cruisers, and I love you guys just for watching. Thanks again, and take care.